Hi everyone, today we're going to be making a gift bag and a matching card. I'm going to be using Pretty in Pink and the Soft Summer stamp set, which is double mounted, as you can see there. Okay, I'm going to be starting off with the gift bag, and to make the gift bag I'm going to be using a C5 envelope, which you can pick up in any shop. And the first thing I need to do is I just need to stick my envelope together. And that gives me just one sheet of paper. Next thing I'm going to need is my cutting mat. I'm going to be using my scoring blade. And I'm going to be scoring the envelope down the two long sides and along the bottom. I'm going to do this at about 3.5 centimetres. Which is about 1.25 inches. So I've scored it down 3 sides. The next thing I need to do is I need to cut the top off so that I've got enough, so I've got a hole at the top. I'm going to cut this off at about 3 centimetres, so I'm just going to swap my blades over. And I've got that lined up to the 3 centimetres on the bottom, and I'm just cutting down, and I've taken the top off. I don't need that bit, so that bit can go in the bin. Now I'm going to fold the envelope along the score lines, just so that it goes both ways. I chose to use a white C5 envelope because of the colours that I've decided to use, but you could quite easily use a brown C5 envelope if you were doing earth elements colours. Now, I folded that both ways. I'm just popping my hand inside it because I'm going to open it up and flatten the bottom. And it's a good idea to put your finger where the corners of the bag are going to be, just so that it flattens out a lot easier. But if you've scored it beforehand, it should fold quite nicely and you should get some nice clean corners on it. Now you need to fold it so you've got your shape like that. Kind of looks like Batman. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these flaps down here. So I'm just going to use snail. You could use sticky strip or double-sided tape. It needs to be fairly strong. And I'm just going to stick it down so that I get a square edge to my bag. And do that on both sides. So I've got the bottom of my bag. Next, I need to turn these folds on the side in the other way. So I'm going to put the corners together and run my fingers down so that they lay nice and flat. And see, I've got the beginnings of my bag. I don't want to leave my bag like that today, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just fold the crease at the bottom as well, so that the bottom of my bag laid flat, and fold it in on itself. And I need to measure the front of my bag so I know how big my cardstock is going to be. And then I've got the front of my bag. What I need to do next is I'm going to stick the card, the Pretty in Pink card, onto the front of my envelope. And I'm going to put the adhesive onto my envelope first. I'm using snail, but again you could use sticky strip or double-sided tape. And the easiest way to do this is then to open up your bag slightly, because you want to know that it's going to stand upright when you've done it. And lay your card up to the front of it, and then you know that the bottom is going to be straight. I'm going to do that on both sides. in exactly the same way. If you've got grid paper is a really good way to make sure that you're getting both sides of your cardstock in the same place. Okay, and there you've got the beginnings of your bag. So it stands up just like that. Okay, I'm going to use the oval punch now to make some handles. I'm going to close my bag up again because the oval punch will punch nicely through 2 layers of card, so I'm going to put my handles on and make sure that I've got that roughly in the middle. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm just going to punch them out. I've got 2 nice ovals that I can use for something else later on. And I've got the handles of my bag. I'm going to put that to one side just for a minute. And I'm going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock with some chocolate chip ink, the flowers from my Soft Summer stamp set, and I'm going to need some markers and a blender pen as well. And the first thing I'm going to use, because I want the image to be quite soft, I'm going to use the chocolate chip ink. You could use basic brown if you have basic brown, but I like the chocolate chip effect. One thing you have to remember is that the chocolate chip ink is not waterproof, so if you're using an aqua painter, you need to be careful about how much water you add to that because it's going to make your image run. I'm going to stamp 3 flowers on my cardstock, and then I'm going to colour them in. Okay. There's my 3 lots of blossom. I'm going to use Blush Blossom, Pretty in Pink. I'm going to also use Old Olive and Close to Cocoa with my blender pen. But I'm going to start off with my Blush Blossom colour, and I'm just going to add some light colour to the petals, just following the lines that are already drawn on the images, because I don't want too much colour. I just want to hint at the colour really, especially with this one. This is just to give it a little bit more depth. As you can see, it's really quickly. I love using the markers because it means that my image isn't going to run. I'm just drawing the lines, following the lines on the flowers. Next I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink, and it's going to add some colour to the inside of my flower. Let's go over the middle. So you could use whatever colours you wanted, but this suits the colour scheme for what I'm using today. And once again, I'm just going to follow the lines that are already on the drawing, just to add a little bit more pink to my image, just in straight lines. If you wanted to add a little bit more detail and keep it be a little bit more exact with where you're putting the colour, you could always use the finer end of the pen, which is just like a pen, and then you really could just follow the lines that you're already looking at. It depends on how much detail you're looking for in your image. Today I just want to use the brush end